Why, hello, my fellow Americans. It's me, a fellow American. So it's election day, right? And in honor of that, I'd like to take a look at some conservative products that I seem to get a lot of ads for, although I don't know why. Because here's the thing, do I look like a very conservative person? The answer is no, I'm not. But we're not here to talk about political opinions, we're here to talk, about some products, right? And you might be thinking to yourself, is this conservative clothing? No, it's not. I mean, there's certainly a lot to go off of if we're talking about conservative clothing. There's definitely a lot out there. I think we've all gotten that ad for that one shirt, but no, we're talking about something a bit more bizarre, and that's patriotic currency. And you might be thinking to yourself, what's patriotic currency? Because, you might not know what that is. I mean, I've only found out what patriotic currency is at least like a month ago, but you also might be thinking to yourself, is patriotic currency just a normal American money system? It's not. Patriotic currency is a whole lot weirder, and let's just take a look at it.
First on our list is proudpatriots.com, and I just have to say, this website just transports me to a plane of existence I wasn't aware of even existed, but it's one that I'd absolutely like to get off of.
Oh yeah, before I forget, one thing to note about proudpatriots.com, I got the ad for the website when I was watching ASMR. Now, this might just be me, but I do not understand the connection between nice internet women who make a career out of, helping people relax, and Trump, but there has to be some sort of subtext that I am not picking up on.
Proudpatriots.com is of course not to be confused with proudpatriot.com, which was an actual store that I wanted to include in this video, but it closed down and is now this Teespring site. Starting off our little field trip is this, and honestly, how could I not bring this up first? I do not use this phrase lightly, but this is my sleep paralysis demon. By the way, this product was the one that I got the first Proud Patriots ad for and is the reason why I've made this video, and my words can do precious little to convey the sheer power that this item has. It's a 23 karat gold sculpted trading card. So, it's described as a trading card, but I really wonder how it, compares to Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh!, at least size-wise, because I would just love to watch a competitive Pokemon tournament where everybody's all serious, and there's probably a good amount of money invested in it, but one of the contestants just pulls out this. It's an automatic win in my book. And also, we have this lovely product review, which is kind of better than the product itself. But, of course, the heart of Proud Patriots is the patriotic currency, and I have to say, a good chunk of the patriotic currency is centered around the Space Force. It's really bizarre, and that's saying something considering the type of website that Proud Patriots is. Just remember, the Space Force absolutely isn't a joke, since we've now got money for it. Yes, it's absolutely hideous money that I wouldn't be caught dead using, but it's money nonetheless. And there are so many varieties of Space Force money, and these aren't all of the ones that are there. This is probably, I'd say, maybe a quarter, if that. But if you aren't a fan of the Space Force, and I don't blame you, we also have this thing. Impeach this. What does that even mean? Is this supposed to make liberals just, shit themselves since they have no way of responding? Impeach This sounds like a very dated prank DVD from the early 2000s that was just supposed to be automatically funny because, politics. And the phrase impeach this makes me think of this kid in middle school who so desperately wants to be a tough bully, but his entire material is either calling things gay or your mom jokes. I'm not offended in the slightest, I just feel bad and, to be frank, kind of awkward right now. And of course, how could I forget about the guarantee to melt snowflakes? Once again, I would not be offended if somebody pulled some patriotic currency out and pointed it at me like I'm some sort of queer Asian vampire and this stuff was a crucifix. I'd laugh and take a picture of it, since a patriotic bill, aside from being a patriotic bill, essentially means 30 wasted dollars. If anything, it does the exact opposite. We're going to take a little bit of a break from the bills for a bit, since Proud Patriots also does coins, and their coins really are something. This first one should come in handy. It's a bit of a seasonal gift. Christmas is coming up after all, and it's something that I'd like to give to my friends, except for the fact that none of them like Trump and I can't really justify spending $20 on a coin. We also have this absolute gem, which is something that I'd personally get if only it said bottom text. This really could have been something. Proud Patriot really could have added some new demographics if they only just embraced how terrible these things look. We also have this coin, which is pretty confusing to me, since it says Duke Ellington on the piano, but the man next to it doesn't really look like him. He looks a bit like Alex Trebek. I get that the silver fox that hosts Jeopardy is pretty loved, but I don't think he wanted to be immortalized on a 24-karat gold-plated quarter. We also have the Trebek coin in silver. This is a bit of a participation medal, really. And speaking of participation coins, we have this one, which tries to go for that commemorative coin aspect, but decided to do it for the largest stimulus in history, their words, not mine. I get that it helped people out, but that's what you wanted to celebrate? Why not do a war or something? But back to the bills. This is one I liked, not just because it has the quite niche aspect of the top Republican presidents that seem to have been just ticked off a Wikipedia list, but because of the little sleeve it's in, it's quite adorable. Proud Patriots, you can talk about how your things melt snowflakes and are just badass and American, but to me, this is the equivalent of when people frame the first dollar they ever made. It is very, very cute. I can also just imagine people displaying this thing on a fireplace or above their TV, then taking it down when guests are over and sharing it. They'll open it up like an elementary school librarian does with the Dr. Seuss book on reading day. And so we also have this one, which I can't even make fun of. Like, this thing is epic. There's a tank. There's a helicopter. There's Thomas Jefferson on it, which is something I also love about these things. Like, I get it, they can't do anything about Thomas Jefferson being on a $2 bill, but it makes it look like everything that ever happened in US history is because of Thomas Jefferson. Yes, he wrote the Declaration of Independence, but he also funded the Army, the Air Force, and the Space Force on the side. What an absolute legend. Oh, okay, I take that one back. We've also got an election bill, which is nice since these terrible bills are actually kind of current. And speaking of current events, we've got this one. It's got everything as far as patriotic currency is concerned. It's tacky and it features the founding fathers, but it also has the added inspirational message to never, never, never give up. Our next store is the Gop Shop, which is a name I just hate saying. I really want to wash my mouth out with soap. And here's the thing, although I can make fun of Proud Patriots all day, their patriotic currency is at least pretty decent quality, and their reviews are generally good. So if Proud Patriots is the best of the best, this place is the worst of the worst. Something to note about these bills is that they are not legal tender, which is a massive shame. I think that explains how bad these things look compared to the Proud Patriot ones, although comparing how these two types of bill look is just like comparing two different turds. This lack of authenticity is quite a shame though, since I was planning on only carrying billion-dollar Trump bills, which are in fact an American statement. Another thing to note is the serial number, which basically spells out dude, which kind of checks out since there is probably a lower for Trump meme where every word he says is replaced with dude. Although majority of the patriotic currency in the Gop Shop lags behind Proud Patriots by a slight yet noticeable margin, we have this absolute beauty, the Melania Trump Novelty $100 metallic silver bill. It is glittery, it is ethereal, it has a holographic print and a presidential seal. It may not be legal tender, but my satisfaction is guaranteed. The Melania Trump Novelty $100 metallic silver bill is the light at the end of the dark, dark tunnel, and this is where I think I like to end this video. I have no idea who'll end up watching this, but depending on how it does, I might make a second part where I buy some of this stuff. I don't want to put a concrete number out there since this will probably get 3 views and just end up being a total waste of time, but if you want to see a short Asian libtard unbox some terrible patriotic currency, maybe consider liking and subscribing, and depending on how it does, I might be seeing you in the next one.